And here we are, Muhammad Shazlee, the black belt slayer himself. How you doing, my friend?
Thanks, Dan. All good. Yeah.
Okay, give me your face, I can tell you hate black belt slayer.
I said it once on Instagram and you haven't stopped speaking about it. And the commentary only was like Black Belt Slayer, Black Belt Slayer.
I mean, the results speak for themselves.
Yeah, I beat a Black Belt. I'm happy with that. Yeah.
How was that performance for you, regards to the camp and everything else?
The camp went good. I wasn't happy with the performance because like I wanted to like defend his takedowns and like strike with him. And I got taken down by like a jiu-jitsu guy, and like jiu-jitsu guys don't have the best takedowns. So I wasn't happy with that, but I was happy I got like the submission.
We had a question from the Instagram from Mateus about you pulling guard in fights. What's that about?
He's just a hater. Yeah. I wasn't expecting to get called out on that. Yeah, no, my takedown defense like early in my career wasn't that good. I'm like I was a bit weaker than the other guys because like I wouldn't cut much weight, so I got thrown around a bit. But now we've been working on all that.
Well, that's what's interesting. Whenever you've been on the guard and bottom in different pro fights, like even the I can't remember the guy's name, but you got like the baby bolo back take, got the back, everything else, almost like you've been the gi. Some of the stuff you pull
the
out.
baby bolo.
Yeah.
So I was on his back and I slipped off, and then I ended up getting the baby bolo and just ended up back on his back. Yeah, I'm comfortable on the ground, but I shouldn't make it a habit. I shouldn't make it a habit. I mean, it's already a habit. I just need to like break the habit now.
I mean, you can't fix what's already broken. You know what I mean? You're already smashing things. You're getting the results. You get the calf slices as well.
The calf slicer was nice. It actually wasn't the first calf slicer. I put on Instagram saying it was the first calf slicer, and then so many people popped up and said, "Oh, it was Jack Grant." So sorry, Jack.
Still counts.
It's the second. I'm happy with the second.
So, regards to you competing, so you're not cutting much weight. How much do you tend to walk around at if you're competing at welter?
I walk around too heavy. I'm not gonna lie, but no one needs to know. No one needs to know how much.
Doesn't get personal.
Yeah, it's a bit personal.
So what does the camp seem to look like for you normally? Is it the same kind of format opposed to your amateur ones, or the same sort
of? I actually trained less than I did as an amateur. Like as an amateur, I tried training like 3-4 times a day, but like a lot of it was like useless training. Like I'd go to like a gi jiu-jitsu class, I'd go to like a kickboxing class with novices. But now it's like 2 sessions a day, one on Saturday, Sunday off. So less volume, but like better training.
So what sort of stuff are you doing now opposed to what you're doing there? Say you're doing kickboxing, you're doing the gi classes. What sort of things is it looking like now?
It's more specialized, so I wouldn't waste time. All my skills training is like 1-to-1.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have like my live training, and then I got like my strength and conditioning, which I'm doing like more professionally now. And that's about it.
How often are you doing strength and conditioning?
Twice a week.
What sort of stuff are you doing? Is it quite high output? Is it quite straining? What sort of intensity is it?
It's always hard, but like it depends where we're at. If we're further from the fight, it's more volume. Closer to the fight, it's like less volume, more like heavy lift, explosive movements, but like less volume.
Have you seen quite a big improvement in your actual performance with that as well? Have you seen much?
No, 100%. I feel like after every like few months, I feel like so much stronger when I'm wrestling. Like when I'm wrestling, grappling, I'm faster. Like huge like improvements. I wish I started working. I wish I was doing like my S&C like my entire career. Like I only started doing S&C properly in January.
What inspired you starting that?
Just like I had a new striking coach, who also has a degree in strength and conditioning. So I thought, why don't we try? Because I've done a bit of gymnastics. I've done a bit by myself, but this is my first time working with like a legit coach, and the improvements were amazing.
I've seen on Instagram a few of your guys training with a guy does like rings and that kind of like bodyweight stuff.
That stuff is really good, but it's different to like actual like strength and conditioning training.
So how come you went down that route opposed to their route? Obviously specialising, but obviously you've seen some training partners take one path. What sort of made you take this one?
I tried the gymnastics, and I don't know, it just wasn't for me.
It's like a wrestling warm-up, isn't it? You do like a wrestling session, do all the sort of cartwheels, do all the rest of it.
No, it was a lot different than like, what's it called, like a wrestling warm-up is like dips on the rings, chin-ups. It was really hard, but like, I don't know, I feel like I like weights a bit better now and I'm making a lot of progress, so I just want to like see how it goes.
Yeah, definitely. In regards to your skill rounds and everything else, you're doing like positional stuff, you're doing like certain themes and that?
As in like skill work or like live training?
Live training.
Live training is like once a week wrestling, once a week sparring with big gloves, once a week sparring with small gloves, and like a bit of jiu-jitsu. That's about it.
Do you still train in the gi?
Nah. Even before, I'd barely used to train in the gi. I don't know how to tie the belt.
You're one of those.
Yeah, my coach showed me like 3 or 4 times. Like I think he's given up on me.
It's got no gi, be alright.
Yeah, I'm good at no gi. That's enough.
Do you compete much in jiu-jitsu?
Not as much as I'd like to. So there was the IBJJF British or London Open or something like that. I wanted to do that one. So on the last day, I was doing my registration, and like my IBJJF membership expired, so I couldn't do that one.
Yeah.
So I need to get that sorted, then I'll be back in the competitions.
For people who don't know, the IBJF membership thing in itself is a bit of a...
It's annoying because it takes like 3 or 4 days to do, because you have to send it to your coach, and he sends it to his coach, and then it's long.
It's expensive.
So I missed out on, yeah, it's expensive too, and then the competition's expensive too. So I missed out on the British, and I thought I would have won that. I saw the bracket, and I was like, I would have won that easily.
Well, this is it. When it comes to your MMA fights, your jiu-jitsu is showing through there under that kind of pressure. To see it in pure no-gi as it was, I'd love to see that in competition. Just the composure must be a different level.
But like in the no-gi competition, it's a different game. Because in nogi, it's more about guard passing, scoring points, not making mistakes. Whereas like in the MMA fights, like get the submission by like any means necessary. So MMA for jiu-jitsu and MMA for jiu-jitsu for MMA and jiu-jitsu for jiu-jitsu are 2 different sports.
Definitely. And again, like I said there, the urgency, the requirement for passing the guard and the point scoring is out the window. And you see it a lot with the UFC as well. People get taken down, and the guard players still be more active than anything else, and they get scored higher and that sort of thing. So again, I think understanding that when you're in there is so important. When it comes to your competition days, what's your general process for getting yourself ready for it? Because you always seem so composed. You seem like, just walking into the gym, sparring sort of thing.
In jiu-jitsu or MMA?
Both.
I don't know, you just can't like overthink it, and you can't really like worry about what's going to happen. You just got to like focus on the present and not let your mind wander off.
Do you have any sort of fight day rituals when you're getting more and more walking out sort of thing?
Not really. Yeah, no, I don't think I have any. I just go there, chill for a bit, warm up and go fight.
Win, go home.
Yeah, win, go home.
Win, McDonald's, going home.
Nah, not McDonald's. UK fried chicken.
When I saw you after the last one.
Oh yeah, I saw you at Mackey's. Yeah, I was in Northampton. My coach didn't eat all day, so we went there. Yeah.
That's it though. You got to enjoy whatever you can, whatever it's about.
Yeah, you have to.
What's after fights? You want to fill up quite a bit. You want to binge for quite a couple of days after.
Weeks, bro. I like my food.
What's the damage normally?
So do you know after a fight, like after I weigh in, my weight shoots up anyway, and then like. So I'll weigh in at 77, my weight will go to like God knows what, and then like it will stay there for like a few weeks. So the damage isn't too bad.
That's alright then.
Yeah.
Throughout your amateur career, what was your weight cuts like at that point? Because you used to fight with feather, didn't you?
Yeah, but I was really skinny back then. So the weight cuts weren't too bad, but like I grew and I kept growing, but like hopefully I've stopped now. And now like I'm comfortable at welterweight. I'm not a big welterweight, but like it still is a bit of a cut.
So when you were amateur, how were you on fight day sort of thing? You used to be quite a bag of nerves. Were you cool as you are now? How were you? What was that?
It was
like?
different every time. Sometimes I would share myself. Sometimes I was like, I hope the show gets cancelled or some shit. And then sometimes I was all right.
Did you hear about Fight Star? The show in London got cancelled today. Day of.
Yeah, I saw that. What happened?
I think something to do with the venue on the day. I got an email through or something like that.
Yeah, I wanted to find that card. So yeah, I'm glad I didn't do it now.
But even imagine that on the day itself.
Was it on the day?
Yeah, literally like today. Doing the cut yesterday for everyone else who's on that show.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
That's actually mad.
Like almost like to the Cage Warriors times where everything was like, in lockdown, the behind closed doors stuff. Did you have anything behind closed doors?
Yeah, I had my pro debut behind closed doors.
Did you?
Yeah, so all the shows were cancelled. There was this one show, I don't remember where it is. It was down south. It was literally in the gym. They had a little crowd. We bought like it was in the corner. They had a cage in the corner of the gym, and they had like they had all the media stuff, and they had cameras pointed at the cage. So it was like fighting with like no crowd, no noise. Like there was a small crowd of like 10, 20 people. So yeah, it was different. But I was just happy to get out there because I was looking to go pro just before COVID. So I was like 22 at the time, and then COVID happened. Then like I lost 2 years of my life. So I was meant to go pro at 22, ended up going pro at 24. So I was just happy to get like the first win out the way.
What's the preparation like for your first pro one? I can imagine it'd be quite a daunting thing compared to your amateur, like, you know, the next stage up.
Pretty much more of the same. Like I was training throughout COVID. I was doing the same things. What's it called? That I would have been doing even if there was no lockdown, because we had like some like special elite athletes days where we were allowed to train, and I was helping all. So do you know, for the big shows they were allowed to compete. So with Bellator, UFC, Cage Warriors, they were all fighting. So I was just a sparring partner. So it didn't make much of a difference for me.
Yeah, I can imagine like that sort of times I'll go Leon, Fabian, all these sort of guys.
Yeah, they were all fighting, and I was just like sitting on the side, just waiting for like everything to like check for like the law to change.
What was the atmosphere at Renegade like after Leon won?
I was mad. Everyone was really happy, and we have so many people just like coming down to the gym just to like train. Like we have people from all over.
It must be incredible having you know, the UK champion again and literally your home gym.
Yeah, it's actually mad. Like, yeah, it's never been done before, because like we've had one UK champion, but like he was training in America. This is the first UK champion.
What did you think watching the fight as well? Obviously, until the end, it wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't looking good. I was like, I was watching it, and then as soon as he landed that kick, like I was in shock for like 30 seconds in my head. I was like, wait, did you just do it? I was like, does that mean he's champion now? And then like he started celebrating. It was mad.
Oh, it's been incredible.
Yeah.
Your time soon.
Yeah, soon. Give me 5 years.
That's it. Won't be surprised though. Say we spoke off camera about your potential next fight, but regards of stages and platforms, what's the ideal situation for you? Would it be Cage Warriors next in the UFC? Would it be Bellator? What sort of path do you reckon you'll follow?
I'm keeping my options open at the moment. I'm not signed to anyone, so I'll see who offers me what. Been in talks with a few big shows, but now we just need to see like what opponents we can get.
I mean, it must be quite interesting now. Is it 5-0 now? To have that kind of leverage to make these decisions, and now it's starting to get exciting.
Now it's like where the game gets really serious, because like 1 or 2 wins, you're in a really good position. 1 or 2 losses, like nobody cares. So it's a really interesting position to be in.
Back to square one almost, or you know, to the top as well.
It'll be back to square one, but like if you lose a fight, you just win a couple, and then you're back to where you were.
Definitely. Regards of the amateurs and the pros at Renegade, the amount of sparring partners you have, are you sparring people your own weight normally, a bit bigger, a bit smaller? What's your...
Yeah, I usually spar like the welterweights and middleweights. And like, I think we have the best welterweight and middleweight mat in the UK. So I always get good sparring again.
Oh, that's good to say. Well,
sometimes when I need a break, I'll spar that Matthias kid.
That's it.
Talks about me pulling guard.
He'll start pulling guard on you.
I'll pull guard on him, yeah.
Just sit guard. Not even like a closed guard, just sit down.
Yeah, just sit down, do some open guard.
Start inverting and see what happens.
Yeah, I'll invert on him, yeah.
Just go for the legs.
Yeah.
We're outside of competition. Do you do a lot outside of training to try and keep yourself in the... Sorry. When you're outside of training, are you always thinking about training? Are you taking your mind off doing other stuff? What's your time away from the gym like?
When I'm in camp or in general?
Just in general.
No, I pretty much train all day, basically. I'm training or like on the way to like a different gym to train. Because like I train all over the Midlands. So I'll go to like Wolverhampton for wrestling. I go all over. So I'm just always training, always like on the bus on the way to training. So
regards of travelling that much for it, how come you're making all these different trips? Has Renegade not got everything you need in the same place then?
No, Renegade's got everything, but like I'm more comfortable with like certain coaches. So like I have like my own team built around me. So I'll train a Renegade, but I'll be like, this guy's my coach for this, he's my coach for that. And like I'll build my team around me, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. Because that's the thing with coaching as a whole, it's a very hard thing to find everyone who fits for everyone in the same place.
Yeah.
And trying to have that it's a very personal thing when you go to fight. It's a very important thing to make sure you've got the 100% feelers are all, signed off, you're happy with what you're doing. Definitely makes sense.
Yeah.
Outside of that, are you doing any sort of coaching at all?
I teach a few classes, I do a few PTs, but that's just to make a bit of money, but because I'm like an active fighter, I don't really push it that much. And I'm like, I'm not really like too focused on that.
No, that's fair enough. As to say, it takes quite a lot away from what you're doing as well, because you're draining your energy there, you're holding pads, which takes your energy and also gets.
Yeah, and it kills your elbows.
Oh, it's awful, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like you're holding pads with some geezer and he thinks fucking your hand is like his fucking enemy or something. He's just trying to like break it.
All the force behind it.
Yeah.
And
Just trying to take all his anger on me. I'm like, what did I do to you?
It's getting personal now.
Yeah.
So outside of MMA and jiu-jitsu, what other things would you like to compete in? Have you competed in wrestling at all or anything like that?
No, I'd like to, but I haven't competed in it. I was an amateur boxer for a bit. That was like just before COVID, so I was doing amateur boxing. I was like, I'm going to do 6 months of amateur boxing, then come back to MMA. I had one fight, and then, COVID happened.
How come you got into boxing?
I'd always trained with I've always liked boxing. I'd always like trained with like boxing coaches, and I'd go down to an amateur boxing club to spar, Pro Park in Dudley, and the coach said, "Oh, why don't you do an amateur boxing season?" I really enjoyed it. I wish I could have done more.
I was going to say, because you see like Aiden and a few other people at Renegade Jai as well, for some amazing boxing.
Yeah, everyone there's got really good hands,
Yeah,
and I think it's a UK thing too. So like, when they get into bigger fights in America and all that, I feel like the level of striking will go down, but the level of wrestling, grappling will go up.
Do you reckon there's quite a big divide still?
In terms of what?
The UK and the rest of the world with regards of like wrestling, grappling, that kind of
Yeah,
thing?
I don't think so. So everyone used to look at UK guys as like disabled in the wrestling aspect. They'd be like, "Oh, he's from England, he can't wrestle." But like, I feel like probably on the wall, we're probably better than the Americans. The Americans would maybe better like shooting in the open. But in MMA, most of wrestling's on the wall. And in jiu-jitsu, I think we're better. Because America's a big place. And you'll have some, you have Danaher, you have Gordon Ryan, you have, oh, now my mind's gone blank. You have like the Mendes brothers, you have all these people in like certain cities, but like you'll go to like some areas of America and they'll have like no good gyms. But I feel like in the UK, generally speaking, in every big city, you have really good jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, I think it's definitely interesting seeing that.
Yeah, and I think striking, especially boxing, we're levels ahead. Because in the last Olympics, I think were we second or third?
Yeah, we definitely were up there, weren't we?
Yeah.
We definitely see it as well. I think it's population density as well. Again, the amount of people there, proportionally, you're going to have that amount of good people and then that amount of better people and so on and so forth. And then seeing that, again, you see it with, they say the cage wall quite a lot. You see a lot of the UK guys. Arnold Allen's a prime example. His takedowns in the UFC are incredible. And same with the striking. And was he number...
Yeah, because he fought Calvin Keita, and like Calvin Keita's got like really good hands. And like Calvin couldn't touch him.
And his knee blew out.
Yeah, but like before his knee blew out, he couldn't touch him. Yeah, did you see they announced the featherweight interim title?
Oh, no, I didn't see that. Who's that with?
Emmett and the Taekwondo Mexican guy.
Yeah, Rodriguez.
Yeah, him. Yeah, so it's them two. I feel bad. I feel like Arnold should have got it.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, to be fair, I haven't really been following Josh Emmett, so maybe he's on a 10-fight winning streak. I don't know.
Either way, but it was a 9-fight winning streak or whatever thing's on.
Yeah, but now Arnold's undefeated in the UFC. He should have got that shot.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
But this is it, though. Do you have to be that person to be in the title contention? Do you have to make that kind of noise? Like, how long did it take Leon to get a title shot?
Yeah, it took him ages. But is Josh Emmett that guy? Like, to be fair, I've only seen like one or two of his fights, so maybe I'm missing something.
Maybe we're just being casuals.
Yeah, I am a casual. I don't really watch that much MMA. I watch more like UK MMA, so I'll watch Cage Wars. I'll watch these like Golden Ticket. I'll watch these shows. When there's a UFC, I'll watch maybe like, I wouldn't stay up for it. The next day, I'll watch like one or two fights.
Yeah, I'm the same. I love Cage Warriors. I don't really follow the UFC that much anymore.
Yeah, I'll follow guys who I'm fans of. Like Josh Emmett could be on a tear, and I don't even. He must be on some kind of tear to get a title shot. But like I haven't seen it. I don't remember the last time I've seen his fight.
Just throwing shade on him.
Yeah, sorry, Josh.
You're next. You move up to welterweight, come on Cage Warriors or something.
He fought Darren Elkins, didn't he? Yeah.
Darren Elkins has the worst tattoo in MMA, I think.
What does he have?
The damage on his chest.
I mean, it's not the worst. Who's that geezer? The middleweight. He had some geezer's face. Alan Belcher.
Yeah.
He had someone's face on his fucking arm. Yeah.
Darren Till as well. He's got a few interesting ones.
Wait, what does Darren Till have?
I think it's his missus or his someone on his arm.
Yeah.
But it don't look like it.
That's not his fault. That's his tattoo artist.
Yeah, 100%. I tell you what I found that was interesting. On the UFC games, they have to get permission from the tattoo artist to have the tattoos in the game.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they won't have them in.
Okay, they don't want to get sued, I guess.
Yeah, something like that. I thought it was just an interesting little thing.
Yeah, you gotta like cover like everything so you don't get sued.
No, definitely. Did you see the last Cage Warriors event? Did you see any the main card or anything?
Yeah, I saw Figlak and Jimmy Wallhead. Yeah, I thought Figlak was gonna have it, but fair play to Jimmy, I guess.
And that's the thing. Jimmy's been trying to get that belt for so long now. To see that now,
Yeah, Jimmy's been around forever, so I'm happy for the guy.
yeah, definitely. There's a few amazing fights in there. There was Lucas Capera. He was down. I'm not sure if you saw the fight. He was down. It was his third round. He got deducted a point for a headbutt, and then sat back for a heel hook and blew the guy's knee out.
Who's he fighting?
Aaron Johnson. It was like his debut.
Oh, okay, no, I didn't see that, but that sounds mad.
Yeah, literally, he had the back clinch, sat down 50-50 and started yanking the heel.
Yeah.
And he comes down and got his knee in a brace as well by the end of it.
Fucking hell, that's fucked.
That's it, though.
Yeah, it's part of the game.
You'll be doing that to people soon again, don't worry.
Yeah, soon. But the headbutt won't be accidental.
I'll tell you who's got something like that. It's George Hardwick. He's got a thing where it's called a cheeky nodder when you're in the gym, and like you just clash heads by accident.
Does he do that?
Not intentional.
I've sparred him, he didn't headbutt me.
Oh yeah, of course he came down, didn't he?
Yeah, he came down to Renegade, him and his brother.
Yeah, it's not intentional. It's an accidental thing.
Yeah.
Whatever. But what was that like having those guys in the gym?
No, really good. Their sound, they got skills, obviously. But yeah, it's nice because like we'll have so many people from like all over the UK and even internationally just like coming down on a random Wednesday.
What sort of names do you tend to have down? Like any sort of names we know about?
Ian Gary was there like a few weeks ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I showed up on a Monday. I was like half asleep. I showed up. I got there a bit early. Matthew was there. He's like, "Oh, you getting fucked up today?" And I was like, "Why?" He's like, "Ian Gary's here." I was like, "Really?" Yeah, and then I just saw him walk out of the toilets. So yeah, you just see random like high level fighters just like come into the gym randomly.
What's the general feel when a new guy comes in the gym, like a visitor? Is it like go at their pace? Is it quite an intense spar, just full stop? What's the...
It's more of the same. Like we don't spar too hard. It's like more technical, more volume than power.
No, it definitely makes sense because
Yeah.
again, longevity as well. You can't be
Yeah.
just eating shots all the time.
Yeah.
With I forgot what I was going to say with this. But it's one of those things when you're sparring quite a lot. How do you find the big glove sparring opposed to the small glove sparring? I always struggle to do MMA rounds in those.
What do you struggle with, big gloves or small ones?
Big gloves.
The thing is, because I've done a lot of like boxing, like I really enjoy big glove sparring. So when it's big glove sparring day, I will really look forward to it. Then when it's like MMA glove sparring day, and I'm like, I'm not really feeling it as much. But yeah, it's harder to like wrestle with the big gloves. But like you can land more punches. You feel more comfortable in exchanges. Whereas like with MMA gloves, everyone's like more cagey a bit.
You still pull guard on them, all right?
Always. That's never gonna stop.
What's one of your sort of favourite fight memories regards to like just the event itself? What really stood out to you?
None of them really. I'm never like too impressed with my fights. I'll finish the fight, I'll watch it back, and I'll just be cringing.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I guess you kind of have a sort of high standard for
Oh
yourself.
yeah,
and you
100%. You watch the fight and you're like, what the fuck was I doing?
What's your most embarrassing?
Maybe like if I go there and KO the guy, then I'll be happy. Most embarrassing what?
Most embarrassing moment in a fight, of something you proper cringe at.
I don't know. Like I've lost fights, I guess. That's embarrassing. No, you kind of put me on the spot there.
No, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
It's more like, you say, I slipped over there or something like that happened. That kind
Oh
of...
no, that happened to me on Golden Ticket, but like I went there, I walked out, the first thing I threw was like a front kick to the face. The geezer caught, I slipped. But then I got the calf slice, so I can't complain.
It comes back round again.
Yeah.
But that's the thing though, with the cage, if you're like later on obviously being like the main events, like the cage's got blood in it. it's
Oh
sweat and
yeah,
the rest of it.
sometimes you're there and then like the floor's been like really slippery. Yeah.
Just come home with AIDS.
I haven't been on those kind of shows yet.
Not just yet, touch wood.
Yeah.
So outside of training sort of thing, do you do any sort of additional training like for the mental side of things for like preparation and kind of like visualizing stuff?
No, not really. I'm not really one of those guys. Like, I just go there, train, compete, and then whatever happens, happens. I'm not really I don't really care too much. Like, you can't really worry about the outcome, so I don't feel like I need a mental coach or any of that.
Well, that's fair enough. It's good to have that kind of composure with it because it can be such an overwhelming process for a lot of people.
Oh yeah, 100%. It is like it is a mad experience, and then when you've done it, there's like nothing like it.
And as well, like you're going through the process of the camp, you're taking the sacrifices along those ways, like in the time with the family, the friends, and the diet as well. You know, you like your food is always a problem. But then to make that step, and I don't know, I'm really impressed with active fighters because after one fight, and I take it just takes me ages to recover mentally from that kind of thing.
You know where it is? After I finish a fight, I'm just really bored. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm happy for 5 minutes. Fucking, I'll eat some chocolate, have a burger. Then I'm like, oh, I want to fight again. Like a lot of fighters, they'll have one or two a year, and then they'll like need a big break. I finish a fight, I'm like, I ain't got shit to do. I'm gonna do that again.
Just bored.
I'll just be messaging my manager. Oh, when's the next show?
But I can imagine that as well because again, if you don't take much damage as well, you're like, I'm still in shape.
Yeah.
Now what?
Yeah, I don't want to get like too fat between fights. So I was like, I want to stay active.
Oh, 100%. And when you're active as well, I imagine like the whole process gets a lot smoother.
Yeah,
as
the
well.
whole process is easier. Like, oh, I'd done this a month ago. It's ain't even that deep.
Yeah, definitely. And again, like through that process of taking the damage, taking the sparring, making sure everything's all ticking on, your routines there, all those kind of things, definitely makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, what's it called? When you're active, the whole thing is just easier. It just becomes like another day.
But then when you're in and out of camp, is your training much different?
I don't spar as much, but like I'm always grappling, year round a grapple, always striking, always doing S&C. The only thing is like I spar less.
More less volume, less rounds. What's the sort of process?
I'll spar when yeah, I'll just spar less. Like if I'm not feeling sparring, I just won't spar. But like since turning pro, I've been in camp for like almost a year, so I haven't had too much time off.
Oh yeah, of course, back to back. I thought you meant like one long camp sort of thing.
Say that
I
again.
thought you meant like a year-long camp.
It's almost been like a year-long camp because like in my first year I'd done 5 camps, and each camp is like 8 weeks. So if you think about that, 10 months out of 12 months. So I've been in camp for like almost a year.
But do you not find that the stress of that gets to you quite a bit? Just that constant, you've got a fight looming, you're training for it. Is that not?
Nah, but I enjoy that part, if that makes sense.
Really?
Like you got something to look forward to. So I enjoy that part.
No, that's fair enough. Yeah, so if you're excited for it, it's a
Yeah,
different
like
kind of twist on it.
if you're excited for it, then like it's not as daunting. But if you're like, fuck, I fucked up, I shouldn't have done this, then it's different. But I don't know. Maybe when I get to the higher level when I get to the higher level where I'm fighting like really scary people who could like switch my life, stuff like that, then maybe it'll be a bit more daunting. But I'm still in the early stages. I've been pro for about like a year. Yeah, a bit more than a year.
And as well, like when you get higher up in the rankings, again, you're fighting guys you might have looked up to, people like that. You start fighting
Yeah, I can't wait for that stage.
That must be incredible.
Yeah.
And like seeing the guys like Leon as well in the UFC fighting those sort of guys, like people, like even the casuals talk about that kind of stuff. You're like,
Yeah.
yeah,
that's what you want to get to.
Oh, definitely. And there's so much along the way to enjoy. Like, regards of like say your early fights, what was your first MMA fight like?
Fucking shit. So yeah, I did it. I was quite young. I wasn't even training properly at the time. I trained like 2 or 3 times a week. It was me and some other kid. We just ran at each other. He took me down. I armbarred him. And that was that.
Well, to be fair, with that kind of flurry, I'd imagine you didn't even realise you did it till afterwards.
Yeah, I was like, wait, did I win? And then the geezers raised my hand and was like, oh shit, I actually done that.
Now what?
Yeah.
Oh, guess I'm doing it again.
That's how it goes.
And here we are 5-0.
Yeah.
But no, it's definitely interesting seeing that kind of momentum being built as well.
Yeah, in this game, momentum's like everything. Momentum just makes everything easier.
No, definitely. And like I said there about the active fighters, saying you stay there in conversation longer, you get more trajectory, just regards of opponents, regards to ticket sales, that kind of thing. It definitely makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, 100%.
And along with that, opportunities come as well. And when it comes to, are you sponsored by anyone?
I'm speaking to like some companies. I got one sponsor, Tunnel Vision. They do gloves, training equipment. Check them out. I think they also sponsor some good UK guys too. So yeah, everyone check that out. Tunnel Vision.
There's a plug. But the reason I'm asking is because you get a lot of eyes on you when you're competing. Again, the more momentum you're gaining, active this or that.
Yeah.
And obviously with the fight purse sort of thing, it's not always sustainable to keep fighting alone. So
Yeah.
to have for sponsors is definitely important.
Oh yeah, 100%. But like it's easier said than done because everyone goes to me, oh, you don't take like your social media shit. You don't have sponsors. And I was like, no fights. Like it's hard to get paying sponsors. Like it's easy to get a sponsor who'll give you a T-shirt, give you a bit of CBD, but it's hard to get someone to convince. It's hard to convince someone to just put money in your bank every month just so you could train. I mean, it's a dream, but it's easier said than done.
I think that's the reality.
If anyone wants to sponsor me and give me money, thank you.
You don't ask, you don't get.
Yeah, if you don't ask, you don't get.
But no, that's such an important point. And then the other conversation is spending how much time marketing, promoting yourself. It takes away from the actual training side of it. You're like, okay, I've got TikTok to film. You know, sit there. Like we're going to spar. Wait, when I get that lighting right, you know, the rest of it.
Yeah, now some people are really good with that. They'll come into the gym with like a cameraman and all that. And then they'll go like all over and do media stuff. But yeah, I haven't done that yet, but like that is like the next step.
No, definitely. It makes sense to spend that time and invest in that. But again, there's the same conversation is chicken and egg, which one comes first, the sponsor or the promotion to get sponsored, that kind of thing.
Yeah, to be fair, I feel like with sponsors, it's who you know.
Mm.
Because you're going to get sponsored by like local like companies like in your area, if that makes sense.
Mm.
So it's more about who you know.
No, definitely. And those kind of relationships you see people, even like Jordan Vucenic, he's got sponsors he's started with even at amateur days.
Yeah.
And they're still sticking with him. And it's good to see like small businesses getting on board with that kind of stuff. Because supporting local talent, especially MMA talent, like you see it with boxers all the time, but you won't see it with MMA that often.
Oh yeah, 100%. So to be fair, it's because like MMA is still a bit of a new sport, whereas like boxing's like part of like UK culture.
Oh,
So as MMA gets bigger and bigger, you'll see more of that. But yeah, it also depends like who you know, because like yeah, if people are going to support you most are like local businesses, and then obviously when you get to like a big enough stage, then you'll have like all these big companies coming at you.
And that's another thing is then how much time after you start getting those big companies, how much time do they start asking of you and that kind of stuff. They're the sort of commitments.
Yeah, no, I get that, but you're gonna have to ask someone who's been working with you.
Yeah, definitely.
All I get is here's the gloves, here's some gloves. Can you take a picture? And I'm like, okay.
Perfect.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said earlier, like CBD and like rash guards and that kind of stuff, happy to give that.
Yeah, it's easy to do media work for those kind of companies.
But again, it's all part of the process anyway. You start spending some time.
You start small and then you go bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, definitely. Regards to that kind of stuff, would you ever do your own kind of line and everything?
Yeah, I want to have like my own I want to have my own everything. So I want to have my own like CBD company, my own supplement line, my own like. I was actually talking to someone about this, setting up like my own like jiu-jitsu brand.
Mm.
Because like I see all these companies as Scramble, Tatami, all this. I can't think of any of the other names now. But I was like, I can do this. So I want to have something like that lined up. But I also want to focus 100% on fighting at the moment.
No, definitely. Again, like you said there, you've got to be prioritised. You're all in or all out. You can't be a bit there, a bit here, and a bit there as well.
No, you can't. I feel like you can, but like it's more work. It's more work to do all that. I'd be like, oh, I'm just fighting.
Regardless of your brand you want to do, what sort of thing would you like to do differently opposed to what's already being done?
I don't know. Just make designs I like. I haven't really put much thought into it, but it's definitely something I'd want to do. And then like I'd make my own gear and like I'd wear my own gear and I'd sell it and hopefully like make a big business and make it like able to compete with these other brands. And then the better I do in MMA, the bigger it's going to become naturally.
Yeah, definitely makes sense. And again, like the audience, you get people, say with the walkout shirt, say you get some done, people start buying them and things like that.
Yeah. I'm talking like I already have like a brand set up. One day I'll make a jiu-jitsu brand.
This would be the origin story.
Yeah, this will be the origin story.
But that's another thing, you know, you've got to make these things real, you've got to, talk about this stuff, you've got to start somewhere.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, regards to you starting fighting full stop and that kind of career trajectory, where did that start from?
So, I started training when I was about 15, but like I was never training seriously. I trained like once a week and then disappeared for like ages. Then I went to university and I didn't really like it, and I was like, why not just do MMA full time? And that was about it. And then I was like in the gym twice a day, every day for like years. I started winning amateur fights and it just snowballed.
So how did you get into it though in the first place then?
Oh, my dad sent me to like a local Thai boxing gym, and that was like when I first started martial arts.
Like K-Star or something?
Yeah, it's Black Widow in Washwood Heath.
What was the training like there when you first started? Was it just like all fitness and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, it was fitness. It was a lot of fitness, like sparring, just normal Thai boxing.
Mm.
But like I wasn't fit, and like I didn't really enjoy it much at first. I didn't like getting hit. I didn't like kicking pads. It wasn't for me at the time, but like it slowly grew on me.
Don't like being hit, don't like hitting pads. It's like, what about Thai boxing do you like? That's pretty much all of it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, at the time, like I wasn't really that into it, but then it grew on me.
That's the nature of it though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like regards to your training in general, how is that changing now? Regards to like taking shots and training, are you one of those who's just
No, I enjoy it too much.
just get a taste for it?
Yeah, no, I get hit with a shot, then I'll start coming forward, then I'll come forward more.
Start bringing your hands down, chin up like
No, I ain't that bad. Yeah.
Start swinging.
Yeah, I might do that in a fight. Do you know the Max Holloway just point to the ground?
Yeah. And the best boxing UFC. Start moving the rest of it.
Yeah, but imagine you do that, then you get chinned. Like you point to the ground, he just swings at you, and then you're just dead.
Well, that's it. Did you see Anton Sheldon in Cage Warriors, where he's like the last round, he's like moving his head around?
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Like it looked great, but
Yeah.
imagine if one of those was.
Yeah,
wrong.
one of those landed, and then you went down. You just look like an idiot. So it's like risk versus reward.
But when it works, it works. But when it doesn't,
Yeah. How did you get on in that fight?
he lost the decision in the end.
Oh, okay, because
I
just
he
saw
didn't.
that
I tell
one
a lie.
clip.
It was a draw.
Oh, okay. I just saw that one clip.
But he wears a lot of blood. He says it's like Tom Mern's got a lot of scar tissue naturally, so they start wearing it.
They
a lot.
touch gloves and they start bleeding.
Yeah, literally.
Ah, okay.
One of those sort of ones.
Yeah.
But I really appreciate your time today, my friend. Regards to social media and that, how can people get hold of you?
You can follow me on Instagram at Shazlee MMA, and that's about it. I got a TikTok, but that's more for my entertainment, so don't follow me there.
So keep those likes private as well.
Yeah, keep the likes private.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
Awesome.